Thank you. Hi, everyone. We're the last people, and we'll go through first. Our team is Alessia. Brenda's not here. She's at class. Me, Hanif, who can't come back, Christiana, Wave, Michael, Santi, and Zainab, who had to go off to work at the library. And we are going to present to you our What Is That app. So basically, it collects citizen science knowledge about mystery species and potentially invasive species. You've all heard of Zika virus, right? That's what we're talking about. And this is an open access concept. So what we intend to do is to easily source images from local people who are observing weird stuff showing up. These citizen scientists right now, there are existing apps. There's something called EdMaps across North America. I'm a taxonomic expert. I don't want to use it. It's too fussy. Anyone who just is a farmer or one of you who sees something weird, you'll never do that because you have to know what the species is. The problem is that alien invaders are everywhere, either intentionally or unintentionally. We move them around. And the way that invasions happen from one continent to another, think West Nile virus, think dog strangling vine, think anything like zebra mussels, is that there has to be an outbreak that scientists decide is a problem. The problem is, if you're thinking of all that, the Plague Inc. or the zombie movies, Patient Zero, who is Patient Zero? That information is never really known because scientists don't know about it. So we started it out with the awesome Zika app developed by Yan Hao, and we scrapped it. That was yesterday. And the reason for that is because the area that we're interested in are the unknown unknowns. Not the stuff that we know about, not the stuff that we know is there but don't have much info about, not the stuff that climate change is going to bring us, the unknown aliens. Scientists don't decide that. Citizens know about that. So this app, which is very much open access, and there are currently calls for Zika data to be open access. The Ebola research data was paywalled, and that was a huge problem in fighting Ebola last year. Okay, anyone can upload images, anyone can browse. Experts can forecast and backcast, and they can provide identifications. So it creates a conversation. And I'm now going to turn over to Santi, who's going to explain what all these guys have been madly programming for the last bit. Okay, we have to escape.
So the application is huge and it's really ambitious, but the biggest problem is that it was really not defined cohesively in the start, and we had a massive pivot halfway through this process. This has been quite hectic for us. So in the first day, we tried working with the GUI that has been done prior to us. And we ended up not being able to really scale it down because it was a really complex beast that we really couldn't figure out the main functionality that would bring this data to grow and to be useful, right? So basically, what we want to happen is for information to be collected by everyday people following the citizen science approach to be able to find new invasive species in different environments. And to get people to do that, we need to offer them something in return. So what we're offering for gardeners and for farmers and for everyday citizens is information about what is this new creature that they're finding in their backyard. In order to do this, we need to have a two-way approach. We need to be able to speak with APIs that are currently existing through various governments like Canada's and the US and the United States, and ask them what they know about different invasive species that might be present in different environments. And we also need to harness the power of just crowds and what people might be thinking about different species. Like if you saw something similar in your backyard and it ate all your potatoes, maybe you can share that information along. So we really defined this properly by the end of yesterday, and today we kind of have to scrap it together in about 2 or 3 hours. So we just fired up a PHP server, and we can just kind of show you what the idea is with this makeshift little application. So if I find a little animal in my backyard, I have no idea what it is. I take a picture of it, upload it to this website. I say, what the hell is this? It's in my garden. It's the middle of winter. What is this thing? Please tell me. We would scan APIs that are existing, try to match these pictures with existing records, try to tell you what it is, and if we really have no idea, we would just post it and show it to people around you so that they can kind of discuss it together and try to come with an idea. Then this data will be open data, will be accessible by academia and researchers who might also be able to shed some light. So that is our application.
And they need sleep.
Any questions? I have time for a couple quick questions. It's the repeat customers, of course.
So it's actually a really good idea. It's really well thought out. The thing I'm wondering is, going forward in the future, would you be interested in doing kind of like photo recognition where it's trying to pair similar sightings and such to try and narrow that down?
Well, that was the initial idea, but we thought that it wasn't, possible in today's. Photo recognition is really, really complicated. So in today's, we weren't able to do all of it. So we did the main part, so what is really important, and then in the future we might look into photo recognition as well to make everything easier. Yeah, sure.
Because you see how you could take a photo of one thing and then take another photo of another, the same thing, but from a different angle. You can see that they're two different things if you're to compare them. So that's why we need a specific APIs which compares what is in.
Right.
Sorry, my apologies. That's why I was in the future and not in
Right,
2
right,
days.
right.
I know it's not possible.
One thing to consider, and we totally talked about this, and there are existing APIs. Like Azure actually offered one, an image comparison API. The problem is that they're really not advanced enough at this point. You really can't show the same animal from two different angles and have this thing recognize it as the same three-dimensional object. It just doesn't exist. What you can do is leverage things like Amazon's Mechanical Turk, which gets people to tell you if two pictures are actually the same animal. And that's really easy for a person. And it's quite affordable in large scales to be able to just ask random people to compare, or using CAPTCHA systems and stuff like that. So that is a thing. It's just the automated version of that process is really not approachable at this time.
But we want to do both.
So I think we had another question.
Yes, question and comment. I'll say the comment first. So I think it's a good idea to do the photo recognition thing, but because you mentioned the complexity, something else that you can maybe do is get, when users upload photos, to add tags. So,
Absolutely.
it's red, it's big, it's scary, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Well,
then
that's part of the description aspect of the upload, right?
Right. So then my question is, how exactly are you going to be able to vet, so I have faith that people aren't going to go there and try to maliciously post photos of things that
Sure.
aren't there, but
Yes.
internet trolls do exist. So how are you going to be able to ensure that the things people are posting are stuff that they're actually seeing?
So rating systems, voting systems, the whole social media approach that is common everywhere else would definitely be implemented here in its full grandeur, right? So you would have users, some of them would be professors, some of them would be researchers, people that have some accreditation, or people that are just knowledgeable and have made useful comments or useful posts in the past. They will have a record. If somebody finds a comment, if you post an animal that you saw, somebody leaves a really a comment that you feel resonates with what you've seen and that you think is helpful, you can upvote it and stuff like that, and these rating systems will endure. You have to trust a crowd to be able to sort its own data, I suppose. Yeah. So yeah, that is our idea. We hope to take it as far as we can.
I think we have one more. We have one more question, quickly.
Yes.
You guys, so the process right now is someone uploads a picture. You guys also have a mechanism or plan to implement a mechanism where you take the pictures from Twitter or Google, where someone posts something like, hey, I found this in my backyard and post it on Twitter.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. We haven't.
Is there a mechanism to harvest pictures from Twitter or Facebook, that sort of thing? And just repeating the question.
Right. It's a very interesting idea. We haven't really considered it. It would be very difficult. You would have to crawl through a lot of different posts and really try to see when somebody's actually trying to describe a weird animal that they saw in their backyard. It seems like a very rare occurrence, and it would be much more useful for people to just post directly into the app, right?
Can I just say, people actually do tweet out unknown species on Twitter to the science community, and they actually do get identified in some cases.
Something you could do is connect the existing service with something like Twitter so that people can do both things at the same time, I suppose.
Why not? One more. We don't want it to end.
We're the last group anyway.
Sorry, it's not really a question. Just to follow up on that's actually a brilliant idea, and I think if you try to implement it the other way around, it would make it much easier. As in, if you make it more accessible to people, so give people and advertise that if you use hashtag whatever on what you post on Instagram and Twitter, we'll look it up, we'll harvest it, and we'll add it and try to help you with that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.